When I first started streaming on Twitch, I literally asked every single person for advice, and I really do mean everybody. I would ask my viewers if they liked what they were seeing, if they thought that the overlay was too clunky. I would often ask streamers through DMs on Twitch or through their posts on social media how exactly would be the best way in being able to maximize viewers for my channel. And one other thing that I feel like a lot of newbie streamers really like to ask questions about is what kind of content should I make in order to become popular? So essentially what I want to do with this video is to give you guys a take from somebody who is just emerging on Twitch, on YouTube, and has had a good Twitter following for quite some time, and how exactly can you begin to grow your channel into something that might be able to grow into something larger in the future. So I just thought I'd take today in being able to record this video to tell you guys what has worked for me personally in the Hearthstone scene. It does kind of depend on other scenes, but I believe a lot of this stuff can translate over to other games and other genres as well. So let me go ahead and break down what I believe you guys need to do in order to become a great streamer, not only on Twitch and YouTube, but just a better content creator in general. The first piece of advice that I often give new streamers is, what do you want to stream? And I'm not just talking about like IRL streams, what video game you're deciding to choose. No, I'm talking about what kind of content do you want to make? So using Hearthstone as an example, obviously because this is the game that I play, I tried to go for funny interactions, weird gameplay, and things that you're usually not going to see on the streamers that are playing this game at higher ranks and trying to be on top of the ladder. So essentially what I'm telling you is, are you going to be the fun streamer, or are you going to be the informative streamer, or are you just going to do literally your own thing and like it's just kind of like lol random, I do whatever I want sort of deal, and this is the flavor of today? And there are some people that definitely enjoy that, but you definitely need to be able to understand what you are bringing to the table and why people are watching you. That is the biggest thing that I feel like if you guys got to take anything from my advice today, is that you guys need to understand what your viewers are there watching you for. Why do they come to your channel specifically? What do you have that no other streamer or not a lot of other streamers have on the platform that people can find at your stream very readily and accessibly? So that's my first thing. Find out what you like to do, because you need to enjoy what you're doing on streaming. Like, a lot of people will be like, stream the popular stuff, stream what's going to get the most amount of views. But if you are not enjoying yourself at the end of the day, and if you're just sitting there like, really? He drew the one card he needed? Dude, so lucky. I fucking hate this game, dude. Now, these reactions are definitely fine if you do them every now and again, or if you're like the salty stream, which again is another reason why people are coming to you, then do that all day long. But I would say that a lot of people just play video games and expect people to watch. That's not how content works. You need to have a reason people are watching you. As appealing as playing video games on Twitch may be to a large crowd, you got to understand that most people are watching this for a few different number of reasons. They could be watching you because they want to learn how the game can be played. They want to see how much money it'll actually take in order to be invested in this game if it's got an esports scene. Most people are looking to actually find a reason to full-on buy the game themselves, or if you're playing a game like Hearthstone, to buy the expansions that come out, or whatever content is cycled throughout the year. So like it's just the one thing that I want you guys to take home with you if you learn anything from today's video. Identify what kind of streamer that you want to become, identify why people are coming to your stream and why they enjoy it, because trust me, they will tell you if they enjoy something that you do. And number 3, you got to be able to stream when you want to stream. You can't just try to make a schedule and like commit to it if you really don't want to commit to that schedule. The next tip is going to go more into like scheduling and planning content ahead of time, but for getting into streaming, you really got to enjoy it. You cannot go into streaming thinking that you're going to make money. That is just not how this business works. The next topic is just stream schedules in general, because there's a lot of different theories, tips, and advices that are out there, but really it depends on what you are doing specifically as a streamer. So I'm going to give you guys the take of what it's like for someone who's just now growing and what they should do, and what I currently do and what I believe might be the best beneficial for somebody of my particular size. Streaming schedules are absolutely wonderful. They give your viewers, an actual time on when you're going to be online. And in today's world of internet and accessibility, literally you have people from all over the world being able to see your videos or your content. So you definitely need to be able to give them, a good time that they know you're going to be online, and you have to be consistent with that. And that's the number one thing, is consistency. Whatever your schedule is kind of irrelevant as long as people know that you're literally going to be there every Monday, every Tuesday, or every single Wednesday. Whatever days you decide, as long as you commit to those days, people will start showing at the beginning of your streams, because they know, oh, hey, every morning at 4 p.m. on twitch.tv/ClarkHellScream, Clark is live streaming from 4 until 8. I'm going to be there. And, if you have to like make an announcement about something, then have those kind of communities on like Twitch or Discord. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. The thing is with streaming schedules is that you don't have to stream 5-7 times a week in order to be successful. You just need to pick whatever days that you have available in your week to stream in order to let people know that you're going to be live then. That's really all that comes down to. How much time you need to spend streaming? I would recommend at least 2 to 4 hours if you're trying to make like long content that people are going to be able to enjoy. And another thing is, when you're online for about 2 to 4 hours, it's more likely for people to actually find you and to discover you. But if you're streaming more than 4 hours and your viewership really hasn't spiked a whole lot, and you're not like usually used to raids or people coming in out of nowhere for your channel, then there's a certain point on when you're streaming too much and you're wearing yourself thin, unless you're going for like a combo or some specific video highlight. Like, that's one thing when you're trying to search for that one clip that you know is going to be super, super cool. But if you're literally just streaming just for the sake of streaming, and you feel like you just need to stop, but you're going at it because I've only been streaming for 3 hours and I promised, not necessarily a promise, but like you're used to streaming for 4, like, just don't push it. You don't want to push it. People will know when you're being forced by yourself to keep playing a game even though you really don't want to, because visual cues are a lot more telling than literally any other thing that you can do on the platform. So I would say that you just definitely need to have your own streaming schedule to where people know that you're going to be there, but realize that you don't need to have some kind of ridiculous schedule in order to make it on Twitch. And that brings me on to the next topic of how long should you stream whenever you have viewers. My biggest take on this is you definitely need to have not necessarily a cutoff time, but when you know it's like, all right, I've got something planned for tomorrow, I need to end the stream here, blah, 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 blah. You need to be able to have those kind of limitations to yourself. But my biggest piece of advice whenever it comes to when should I end my stream, if I feel like if I'm feeling tired or something like that, I would often recommend for people, if you have an active chat or if you have a lot of viewers, like more so than usual, those are the times that you really need to do the grind life on Twitch. Whenever you have like a raid or a host and people actually stick around from that, which actually is not all too common, at least in my experiences, that is when you need to be able to, buckle down and really show people, hey, I'm a content creator, maybe you'll like me. Because this is one of those situations to where, say you stream 4 to 8 every single day, and somebody raids me for like 700 viewers at like 7:30. Wouldn't you want to stream for like another hour or so in order to like try to see if any of those people would be interested in maybe being a part of your community in the future? Because that's like the biggest thing that I always think about whenever I get raided is like, okay, I definitely need to stream for another hour and a half because all these new people who may not have seen me before may enjoy what I do. But if you literally just end the stream when you have like a ton of people and you haven't had that many numbers throughout the entire stream, that really can limit your growth a little bit, because you want to be able to appeal to as many people as possible. And if you have hundreds of people in your chat, I would just try to stream as much as possible. Now, again, this is going back to the previous advice, to where you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to stress yourself out, and you don't want to look like you're literally not having fun with the game. So know where your limitations are. That's pretty much the biggest thing in this segment, is to know what you can do and what you can't do. But whenever it comes to getting big raids and knowing that there's a lot of people watching, I would just try to stream as long as you. And speaking of which, the next topic is actually raids and hosts, because fortunately for me, I get a lot of love from the Hearthstone community, from from content creators of all different sizes. So I will usually get anywhere between 1 to 2 raids on average a stream if I'm streaming at my usual times and I'm not like streaming like midnight or something like that. Because again, these streamers know that I stream during these times and will literally see me online, so they know to raid me. But when you're starting out, what exactly is the best way to get raids and hosts? I'll just tell you right now, there is no good way. The only way that you get raids and hosts is if somebody literally finds your channel randomly and they're like, all right, I'm a big streamer, I want to give a boost to somebody who has smaller numbers than me, or you have somebody that literally knows you and decides to throw their viewership your way. But literally all this comes down to is, do people know who you are? Do other people in the streamer in your streamer communities understand that you are somebody that provides this kind of content? So case in point, I am a wild Hearthstone streamer. I play the wild format, which is literally all the cards that have been released all in one wacky place, to say the least. So there's a few wild streamers that are always streaming, like every single Tuesday, like every single weekday essentially. And if I'm live during these times and I was in their stream earlier that day, sometimes it will be like, oh hey, Clark was in my stream earlier, so I'm gonna go ahead and host and raid him and that kind of stuff. And that's literally all it comes down to. If you are trying to get a raid from anybody in a community, all it takes is just being a part of their community, because if they like you, they will like to see your content grow. Don't just go onto people's like streams and be disingenuous and just like contribute nothing to the chat. That's not what I'm telling you to do. Be a part of their community. Understand what makes their stream unique and valuable and why people come back to it, because not only are you understanding what it means to be a part of a community, then when you're actually streaming it, you will understand what your viewers will want to be a part of inside of that community. So that's the biggest thing that I can give you in terms of advice on hosts and raids. Just be friendly in other people's chats. If they like you and if they remember you, they will raid your channel if they see that you are streaming. This is something that I can 100% live by and stand by my words, because this is why I believe that so many people have raided me in the past. I try to go into as many different Hearthstone streams as possible. I try to be chatty. I try to ask questions. I will often give suggestions about things that I have particular opinions about, that they're asking about, and that's literally all it comes down to. Be a part of a community, and somebody will maybe share their community with you if you're trying to do the exact same thing they are. But now that we've analyzed a lot of things that you can do as a community, let's focus about more things that you should be able to do individually and focus inward about how you can improve aspects of your stream. So the first thing that comes to mind whenever I think about focusing inward on Twitch is, how are you maximizing your time? How are you maximizing your streams? How are you maximizing your clips after you get them? And how are you promoting these clips? Everything that I just mentioned is only going to be done by you at the beginning. Just because you post something on Twitter does not mean if somebody enjoys it that they're going to share it with everybody else. So you have to be able to essentially, I hate to say self-promote, but you have to be able to self-promote on some sort of level. Don't spam with it. Do not spam with it. Just do not spam with it, because you don't want to be known as that guy who is just literally spamming things on all the social medias. I was known as that guy for a little bit, and unfortunately on the Hearthstone Reddit, I still kind of get some backlash from people where it's like, oh, all you do is just post content for yourself. All you do is self-promote. You're not a part of the community, blah, 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 blah. And that's the thing that you want to be able to avoid, and why you shouldn't just post literally everything on all of your social medias. I recently watched this video. I don't 100% know the guy's name or the title of the video, but I will leave it in the comments below and somewhere on the screen so you guys know that this is a real video that I'm referencing. But he suggests focusing on 2 social media platforms and just really hammering in on those platforms. So for me specifically, outside of my Twitch, those social media platforms would be Twitter and YouTube. And yes, YouTube does technically count as a social media now, in my opinion. But aside from YouTube, if you really want to get into semantics, I also use Reddit, because Hearthstone Reddits are very active in their communities. But regardless, what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't want to burn the ocean. You want to get a pot of water and burn that, because you're going to get more value out of that boiled water. If that's the whole thing of the if that's what you're trying to go for. You don't want to boil the ocean. You want to just grab one little bit of it and warm that up one bit at a time. That's the analogy I'm going to use here. So essentially, if you have a cool clip that you want to be able to share with your fans, you can post it on your Twitter or wherever you know that people are going to find it. Do you have a Discord server that a lot of people like to join in? Then post it there. If you have an Instagram or a TikTok, if you're one of those people that is really into that specific social media grind, then post it on there if you know that people will watch it. It just comes down to where you're posting it and if you know that people engage with your content specifically. So a good example of this is not necessarily the videos that I post on my Twitter, but I often just ask questions. I ask Hearthstone questions because that's the game that I play, about just hypotheticals. What do you guys want to see from the game? What drives you crazy? Describe Hearthstone in 6 words to somebody who's literally never played the game. Like, a lot of people enjoy these kind of little tidbits of content to where they can just like make up a hypothetical and see what the original poster has to say about it. So that's just what this segment is all about. What kind of content do you know that people are going to watch from you and your other social medias and just hammer it? Hammer it. Just obviously don't spam it, but know that you're posting this because people will actually watch it. You don't just want to post on all these social medias to where it's going to get like absolutely no attention and you're like, wow, I thought this was a really cool clip. I guess people really didn't like that. It's not that people didn't like it. Some people just don't discover you on Instagram, so maybe you shouldn't post it on Instagram. But again, this is all relative. If you're somebody that is not well-versed in any of these social medias, then just pick the one that you believe that you want to be the most well-versed in. For esports and for just like general gaming, I often suggest Twitter for people because there's a lot of opinions that are being shared. There's a lot of gameplay footage, and there's just a lot of stuff. There's just a lot of things that people post on Twitter when it comes to esports and gaming. So I think that's a great way in order to get involved in any kind of gaming community. I heavily attribute most of my Hearthstone success to having a pretty decent Twitter account. I have about 5,000 followers, and I've had the account for about 4 years now. But regardless, people know me on Twitter because I post my opinion on Twitter, and I interact with people that are in the same gaming communities on Twitter. And guess what? If you're looking for raids and hosts like that, maybe if you interact with somebody on Twitter and they really like you, maybe they'll raid you in the future. Guess what? That's happened with me before. Like, a lot of the stuff that I'm saying is my own personal experience, so it's not going to work with 100% everybody. But these strategies, these game plans are all around, they're all loosely the same thing if you just apply them in different ways. So just, that's my biggest thing whenever it comes to streaming, is that it's going to be different for everybody, but you just need to understand that your approach is important. Eventually, it'll reap some kind of reward, or maybe you'll get like your first tier 1 sub once you're finally in that affiliate status. But you just got to know that people love content and they want to support people that they enjoy. So if you are overall somebody that is like positive, or somebody enjoys on all the different social medias, it is going to do nothing but benefit whatever Twitch or streaming platform that you're trying to grow on. My last piece of advice would be about your overlay. It doesn't need to be all that. It really doesn't. And this is coming from somebody that plays Hearthstone specifically, to where all you really need is a camera. And sometimes you don't even need a camera. For streaming, you just need to get started. That's all you have to do. You don't even need a camera. Sometimes you just need a microphone. Get a microphone, get a game, just play it, see if people enjoy it, and then just bring it from there. Because the biggest thing about streaming is that you have to enjoy it. I know I said this earlier, but it is really that important that you enjoy what you are doing. Like, there is the sentiment that a lot of people are playing games on Twitch because they want to be able to make money off of video games. But if you're not enjoying playing the video game that you're streaming, it's just gonna kill your motivation. You gotta be able to motivate yourself when it comes to streaming, because it's all about it's all about setting goals and then meeting them and then setting even more goals. So at the beginning, my first goal was to reach 1,000 followers on Twitch, and then I hit that, and it's like, well, what's next? I guess 2,000. Now we've reached 2,000, and we're currently sitting at 2,500. So the next goal is 3,000. Always have something that you're looking forward to. Always have some kind of achievement that you're trying to make. And especially when it comes to like making my own content and making videos and stuff like that, All I do is just stream stuff that I enjoy. I play combos. I play weird interactive stuff. Well, I should say uninteractive stuff because my decks are really degenerate. But regardless, I play something that I enjoy. I make videos about stuff that I enjoy. And then I upload stuff that I enjoy. And that's just really all that I could suggest. Enjoy what you do, and other people will enjoy what you do as well, because they'll want to see you succeed. But I hope you guys enjoyed these tips on getting a stream started. A lot of this was geared specifically towards my experiences, but that's literally every single tip on like every single tip video on this platform is people giving their experiences or giving you the general stream every day for 8 hours, make a YouTube video about it afterwards, and then you'll see results. It's one of those things to where the more effort you put into it, the more time that you put into it, more people are going to reciprocate it. It's just that simple. You have to be able to give something that people enjoy and then give them a reason to come back in the future. And what is that reason? You're going to make more content. That is the only reason that you need to give people, in my opinion. But thank you guys so much for making it to the end of this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I would love to get a dialogue started with you. If you feel like one of my tips isn't exactly a tip and is more just me giving my personal experience and it's just a lucky situation, then feel free to let me know, because I would love to discuss any kind of nuances with any of the tips that I provided in this video. And as always, if you enjoy this content, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and maybe check out the Twitch channel if you want to see some Hearthstone action and if you love card games. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about the Twitch meta and will hopefully create your own communities. And we'll see you for the next video.